Hi again for the final time in this video mini-series. So we're going to have a quick recap of what we've learnt before we jump into the last topic. So in video 1 we looked at modelling and how important it is. So children learn by watching and copying, so they really do need to see you do the behaviour you want first. Now this watching and copying happens regardless of any reward or punishment, but if you're trying to teach a child to change behaviour, then rewards and punishments really do work. Now video 2 looked at positive praise, which is a type of reward and is one of the most effective ways to get your child to change their behaviour. Being nice and showing attention to the good things will in time reduce the negative behaviours. Punishments are less effective, but I do understand that they are absolutely necessary if your child is going to completely off the rails. And this is what we're going to get into today. But first, just a quick couple of questions. How many times did you praise yesterday? Did you keep forgetting? If so, don't worry. This really isn't a telling off or anything like that. But this is exactly how your child is feeling when you're getting them to do something new. They will keep forgetting and revert back to what they know. This is natural. So have patience with yourself and have patience with your child. They are trying, it just takes time. Now, the longer you and your child have been stuck in this negative cycle, the longer it takes to break. Now this is not something to be worried about. You will both get there and you will both absolutely have the wonderful and happy life you're seeking. So what is this Stay Firm all about? Well, Stay Firm is again another really simple tool which has a lot of research behind it. Now it's not usually called this. Instead, you will probably have heard the term ignore. Now I know I'm on camera and I can tell from the other side of the camera there that you're rolling your eyes, but please give me a chance. After all, you've made it this far. So traditionally, you get told to ignore anything your child is doing wrong and eventually give up. Both you and I know that this just doesn't work. Now, if your child is going wild and you ignore them, often they just seem to get even more high-spirited until you end up shouting at them to stop. And that's the problem. They've learned that it's okay to go crazy and they only really need to stop when you have literally had enough. Now, this happens because of the stuff we went over in video 1 and 2. Because we're not showing the child the way we want them to behave. And here's a little example. So we may be walking down the street nicely and not waving our arms like a windmill. But how did they know that this is what we want them to do? So before you leave the house, do you say, I want you to walk nicely today like I do, no windmill arms. Do you think you can do that? Get them to commit. Then as soon as you can, praise them for walking nicely. And if all of a sudden the windmill arms come out, remind them in a firm but calm voice that they said they could walk nicely without the windmill arms. Chances are they'll start to walk nicely again, and then you praise them again. After a while, the windmill arms will stop happening. But if you've been doing it long enough, this is where the ignore works. Okay, so back to the examples. Because your child is now getting loads of attention, hugs, kisses and praise for walking really nicely down the street, when you withdraw your attention, which is what the ignore really means, they feel it. It hurts. Now don't worry, it doesn't cause any lasting damage. So as soon as they stop the windmill arms and walk nicely, you just praise them again. So this praise after they have done the behaviour you didn't want, corrected it themselves and now doing the behaviour you do want, this is the vital piece. This is what changes the behaviour. Now it sounds mean, but you're really just going to have to keep setting them up to fail. The more you do this, the quicker their behaviour will change. Okay, so windmill arms example again. So you normally just walk to and from school, which takes 5 minutes or so. To speed up the behaviour change process, you can take a longer route or go for a quick walk around the block before your evening meal. That extra few opportunities will enable you to support them in changing their behaviour that much quicker. So why staying firm? Well, this is about you. Nothing will change unless you dig your heels in and stick to the 3 steps. If you falter just once, well, it won't undo what you've done, but it will set you back. If you make a rule about what you want to change, you have to enforce it every single time. Make sure that you are showing your child what you want them to do, that your praise is drastically outweighing your punishments, and that you always praise the good behaviour after the ignore. If you found this information useful or have any questions, you can drop a comment in the box below or leave a comment in the Parent Community Facebook group, and I will get back to you as soon as I can. If you want more support in this area, then jump on the masterclass which is happening this Saturday, where I go into the 3 steps in more depth, give you a little more tricks and tips that you can use for about 60 minutes, and then I'm going to be at your mercy, so to speak, for 30 minutes to answer any questions you have. Now, just to let you know that you don't need any fancy equipment or anything to join the masterclass. It's going to be going on a Google Hangout. You will be sent the link to join after registering for your ticket. Oh, and I almost forgot, grab your Stay Firm info poster below as your quick reference, and have a fabulous day. Thank you.